pip, tally-ho, hang on to your hats, a bit breezy up here. Joolz Guides here, in which I wander around London telling you fascinating facts. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you like these videos, because that really helps me. And today we're in Richmond, but we're not going to start here on this bridge. We're going to start over there by the station. So let's go.
If you will go along with me, we'll travel with the tide, and I will...
If you come to Richmond, you'll probably arrive at the train station here, like I used to when I was young, and my sister used to go for ice skating lessons at Richmond Ice Rink. Every weekend we used to come down here. It's a beautiful Art Deco station. Actually, the station's been here since 1846, but this is more 1937. You can see it's really nicely done, actually, very beautiful. The interior as well. But feeling very nostalgic coming here, because somewhere over there used to be a W.H. Smith's where we bought quite a lot of our singles when we were kids. I mean, I'm talking not even the 80s, this was possibly the 70s when we used to come here. Any of the late 70s singles that we bought from the W.H. Smith's, which used to be over there. Was there a W.H. Smith's? I'm pretty sure. Maybe someone can mention in the comments. Anyway, let's head down that way.
However rough the way may be, the water's dark and low.
I say, Simon, look at this beautiful pub. That was redone in 1897. Does that make it arts and crafts? Is that kind of movement? Do you know much about architecture? Anyway, it's a beautiful...
It was Victorian anyway.
Yeah, Victorian. Beautiful pub. And there was a theatre upstairs, the Orange Tree Theatre, but they then got a bit popular, so they've moved across the road. So that used to be an old primary school. But yeah, that's another sort of mid-19th century building. They're quite good, the Orange Tree Theatre Company. They do like new plays and also old forgotten classics. Well, not even necessarily classics, just old plays which, you know, have been undeservedly forgotten. So anyway, a bit early for a drink, so let's head off down here.
Through all the stormy weather, I will always steer you on.
It's a pity, actually, because it obviously originally was a beautiful old gas lamp, but look, someone's just taken a normal sort of 60 watt and just screwed that in. Lovely houses, though. 18th century or so. It's nice. We swung around the back street here because it's nicer than walking up the main road. This is like some sort of architect studio, I guess. It used to be the old courthouse, but this used to look a bit like those buildings then. I think George Eliot used to live here, the writer. We had to read Middlemarch at school. Blooming hell. I was so annoyed when our teacher showed up with Middlemarch. He just walked into it was like this fat. He walked in like there's a stack of them, and I went, oh, my heart sank. Anyway, this is just opposite, this at All Bar One. It used to be the Crawdaddy Club. This was the back of the Station Hotel, which I think you accessed from the main road there. But the Crawdaddy Club here was where the Rolling Stones first played. Well, the first incarnation with Charlie Watts and Bill Wyman, because they actually had played before that together, but it was here that they played together. Actually, it wasn't a success. The guy who ran the Station Hotel was having a bit of a problem getting people to come in and watch them, so he had to offer 2-for-1 tickets to go and see the Stones. Well, early 60s, I guess. Yeah, loads of people have played here. Elton John, Led Zeppelin. There you go, 1963. The Rolling Stones kicked off their career. The Beatles first met them here. I don't know if that... Yeah, I guess they're claiming that this is where the Beatles met them. How about that?
Cruising down the river on a Sunday afternoon, with one you love, the sun above.
This is a beautiful theatre, the Richmond Theatre. It used to be the Theatre Royal and Opera House. Look at that, they opened in 1899. It's another one of those, you know Frank Matcham, I'm always going on about him. He designed a lot of theatres, like the Hackney Empire, I think, and the Hippodrome, the one in Leicester Square. It's a classic example of one of his, and the interior in particular is really beautiful. Evita was filmed there, used it for Downton Abbey, and it's used in Bugsy Malone. You know when they do the audition, Blousey, you know, Bugsy's girlfriend or whatever, and she comes in to do an audition and that other girl barges in and sort of, it's shot in there. I'm feeling fine, filled with emotion, stronger than wine.
The old accordion playing a sentimental...
They used to have jousting here. the Middle Ages. And quite a lot of the houses around the edge would have had, I don't know, people who worked at the palace living in them, because Richmond Palace is over there. We're coming to that in a minute. But also it's quite famous for playing cricket here. One of the, I think the earliest mention of a cricket match was here in the 1600s sometime. But then in 1731 there was another cricket match here which resulted in a riot. It was Mr. Chambers' 11 versus the Duke of Richmond's 11, and it was for 200 guineas. But because the Duke of Richmond arrived late, the start of the game was delayed. Mr. Chambers' 11 only needed like 10 runs to win or something, and they were about to win, but then someone just said, oh, I'm sorry, we got to finish now because it's 6 o'clock.
Right,
and they were saying, wait a minute, but the Duke of Richmond was late. That's the reason why we didn't have time. So this big fracas broke out here.
Big ruckus.
Yeah. Spot of trouble at the old cricket, Simon. You know?
That's cricket. That's what cricket's known for, you know, riots and things. So.
It's also interesting, it's the first ever cricket match which they have a recorded score for. Quite early, but it's lovely. See, there's so many pubs around here. It's excellent for a pub crawl around here. And points for spotting a drinking fountain. Is it working? Is it work? Points, more points.
Especially on a hot day.
Excellent. Did you watch Ted Lasso, Simon? Tell you a bit fan of Ted Lasso. I never watched it, but this is the pub that they come to all the time. This is where the coach comes. That's why they've got all the AFC Richmond scarves and stuff behind the bar. And look, they're really cashing in on it around here because they've got the Ted Lasso shop. No, I mean, I never watched it. It's a show. I don't know. It's on one of those channels that you have to pay for. Yeah, he's like an American coach who comes to coach an English team. Yeah, they've really cashed it. It's like being in Baker Street, where there's all the Sherlock Holmes stuff. But we're heading to Tit for Tat Hats over here. Mary, hello.
Hello, Joolz. How lovely to meet you.
Nice to see you.
Oh my goodness, what an honour, what a pleasure.
So you're a hat maker.
I am a milliner,
Is
not
that
a
the
hat
name?
maker. A hat maker is a gentleman's felt pieces.
Nice.
Millinery is all about ladies' beautiful hats here.
Like the one you're wearing.
Like this little titfer. Titfer, my name Tit for Tat, means hats in Cockney rhyming slang.
Oh, right. Some people always go, oh no, hats don't suit me. I'm not a hat
Because they
person.
haven't given it a chance, they
Right.
haven't tried, they haven't got any patience, they haven't come to me. It's all about finding a hat that suits your face shape. Proportionally speaking, the height, the crown, and the colours of the hats, depending on ladies' skin types.
Even if you have a funny shaped head.
Absolutely.
Do you have any gentleman's hats at all? I quite like that.
That looks amazing. I do a lot of investitures, an OBE in front of King Charles.
Oh, right. So people actually
And
have
I
worn your hats in Buckingham Palace.
Oh
and
my
stuff.
goodness, I'm making something as we speak now for an actress.
Really? But
Can't really say her name.
okay, no, fair
I
enough.
can
I
tell
don't
you
mind.
afterwards.
Did you ever get invited yourself?
No.
They should take you.
They should. I would love to go to a garden party.
Yeah.
Every day we have the Ted Lasso tour.
Yeah.
Heaps of Americans come down here like a cult. See where she's standing? It's upstairs. Is where his place is in the show. Have you watched it?
No, I have never heard of it until today.
But
when
you're
Julie was-
joking.
I've never even heard of
You
it.
don't have Apple TV. They come in heavy loaded with souvenirs from that shop.
Aren't you tempted to have just stock a couple of Ted Lasso baseball caps in
No,
here? You should
not
make
at
one.
all.
for when-
I leave it to them. Thank you.
Thanks, Mary.
Birds above all sing of love, a gentle, sweet
It's beautiful, this little stretch along here, like Oak House and Old Palace Place. These are really old houses, some of them from the 1600s, I think, but they're definitely from the 1700s. See, that's a coach house there. Rather nice. I think that is, isn't it? And Joolz guides wouldn't be Joolz guides without a stink pipe, would it, Simon? Look over there. Now, you've got to keep your eye out for these. We deliberately wanted to wait until a lovely day to come down to Richmond because it's just, that's why I've delayed it for so long. It's just such a beautiful walk. It's like a day out for us, you know, really lovely day out. And just on the left here coming up, they're called Maids of Honour cottages. Is that, Simon, maybe you can use the zoom lens, is that a fire insurance plaque on the wall? Is that, can you see? Let's have a look through the lens there.
Let's investigate.
Yeah, what is that there? It is, you know, it's got the numbers underneath it. Fire insurance plaques, I've been on about these before, they're in my first book. You know, you get points for spotting those. Yeah, they're sort of to show that you were insured against fire. That's one of the earliest ones, that's the Sun, they're the first fire insurance plaques, I think. unless I'm mistaken. I have to read Joolz Guide's Rather Splendid London Walks again to check, but I think the Sun Fire Insurance Company, they were the first one. Wonderful, these buildings. They were actually built in 1724 for the trusted royal wardrobe servants of Queen Caroline, who was the Queen Consort of King George II. Number 2, which is that one over there, is where Richard Burton used to live. Not Richard Burton, not the actor, not the Elizabeth Taylor husband. He was a famous explorer. He was the first guy. He did the, is it Hajj to Mecca pilgrimage? But he had to do it disguised. He did
disguised as an Arab to do it. Yeah.
All dressed up, and he also translated the Kama Sutra. But he also translated the 1001 Nights. Okay. Yeah, he was the guy who did that.
That's a saucy book too, isn't it?
Yeah, it is quite. He theorised about a satanic zone, he called it, where sodomy was endemic. It was parts of the world where intimacy between older guys and young prepubescent boys was commonplace. And it's quite a lot of the world is taken up by different areas where he's claimed this was taking place. But anyway, he lived there. Not bad. It was a pretty decent job to be an explorer in those days, I guess, because that's not a bad address, is it? Look, King William IV. Those are nice. I put there in the William IV time, which was, when was that? 1830 or so, I think. But turn left at the post box with no royal insignia on it, and you've got the entrance to Richmond Palace. It's amazing, really. I mean, the whole area used to be called Sheen. Back in the 1100s, there was a manor house here originally under King Henry I, and then later on it expanded, it got bigger. I think it was turned into a palace by Edward III. But it was here that Edward I, Longshanks, the guy from Braveheart, he received the commissioners from Scotland. I think it's represented in that film, actually, Braveheart. Richard II, Henry V, they all used it. Loads of monarchs used it, but it was named after King Henry VII. It's called Richmond Palace, because King Henry VII, his title was actually the Earl of Richmond, which is a place up in Yorkshire. And so because he was the Earl of Richmond, he called this Richmond Palace. And that's why you've got the Welsh dragon and the Greyhound of Richmond. That's the Henry VII's coat of arms. It even says on this plaque here, look, residence of King Henry VIII, King Henry VII and Queen Elizabeth I. And as you come through the main gate here, look at these big hinges. These would have carried the gate, the massive gate. It was rebuilt, is it around 1500 or so? People actually live in here. Incredible. Imagine if your address was Richmond Palace. You got the Trumpeter's House, built in the time of Queen Anne, so early 1700s. It's built for a guy called John Hill, who was the brother of Abigail Hill, who was one of the favourites of Queen Anne. I don't know if you've seen the film, The Favourite. So she's the one, Abigail Hill, she's the one played by Emma Stone in the film The Favourite. And the future Prime Minister, Benjamin Disraeli, he described it as being on Richmond Green, the most beautiful house in the world. Well, I beg to differ, because actually the one that I really like, and I think is the most beautiful in the world, is still to come later in this video.
The winds around all make a sound like softly falling rain.
Look at these lovely door there. This always reminds me of, you walk past a door like this, always reminds me of the secret garden, you know? I wonder who gets to go through that door. I suppose the residents of those places that we just saw.
I do.
It's lovely, isn't it? They're full of mysticism for me.
Yeah, yeah, they are charming.
Wonder and...
Charming, Julian.
Yeah.
They're charming.
Unlike that dust truck that is following us around.
We seem to be doing
all the way.
the rubbish route here.
Oh, man. Oh, God, it stinks. On this side, extended eastward to the cloisters of the ancient friary of Sheen, formerly stood the river frontage of the royal palace, first occupied by Henry I in 1125. Edward III died here, 1377. The palace was rebuilt by Henry VII, who died here in 1509, and Queen Elizabeth also died here in 1603. You know, it's so much easier when I don't have to remember that stuff. I can just read it off a nice, convenient plaque. Let's head through here. Actually, why don't you just follow me in here, Simon? Look. Isn't this lovely? Again, there's just so much mysticism around here for me. I mean, I just find it so romantic. It's a sort of like children's stories. You could have, look at in that, what do you suppose is inside there? Who do you suppose lives inside? Probably an old man from from a Disney movie or something. Yeah, living behind that grate. This used to be part of the the deer hunting grounds for the old manor of Sheen. Again, Simon, look. a scary character from Scooby-Doo or some show you used to watch as a kid probably lived in there, don't you think? Don't want to go in there. Scary. Uh-oh. It's rather excellent, isn't it? That's a little kind of stairway leads down to a tunnel, some sort of tunnel that goes under the river. Because we're just right next to the River Thames here, as you shall see in a moment, but we're just walking parallel to it. Now, somewhere further over there, there's the old observatory that was built for King George III. Now, King George III was obsessed with science and the advancement of science and things like that. That's why he sent Captain Cook to go and observe the transit of Venus in Tahiti, because he wanted to, I don't know, measure the size of the Earth or the distance of the Earth to the moon or something. I don't bloody know. But anyway, these two obelisks that are set up here are something to do with the observatory. I think they're directly due south of the observatory, and you can do these calculations. It was used to calculate the time of day because the big clock down in Whitehall, you know, the one on horse guards, which the horses sit outside and everyone takes photos of them, that was the main clock in Westminster before they built Big Ben. So that clock was set by this Royal Observatory here. That's how they got the time right on it. These were put here in 1788.
Just two of us together, we'll plan a honeymoon, cruising down the river on a Sunday afternoon.
How lovely. And then just through that gate there is the Richmond Lock and Weir, built in 1894. This was some sort of device to keep the boats afloat or maintain the water level. I don't know how they work, technical, but it's very beautiful. You get some wonderful views up there as well. I just love the way they designed things in those days, meant to last as well.
They knew what they were doing. Look at those lovely round windows.
Lovely spot here. I mean, like I was saying, it's a wonderful day out. You can have a great pub crawl along here. And if you choose to stop here at the White Cross, it's quite famous for having the water level rises and comes up. Sometimes it rises so much you can't get out. You need without Wellington boots. So they'll provide Wellington boots for you if you need them. Oh, I hope they got my size.
How are we going to go home?
It's right next to Water Lane, you see. Water Lane, this is where the goods would have come ashore. They would have been probably for the palace and stuff. This is where people would have transferred their goods. I should say, by the way, that no one actually officially pays me to make these videos, apart from those people who donate very kindly through my website. So you can donate if you want to provide a crust of bread for Simon for dinner and some stagnant water for me by going over to joolzguys.com, go over to the donate page. It's all very simple, and I very highly recommend Joolz Guide's rather splendid London Walks book and the London Pub Walks book, my most recent book. So you can buy those on the website as well, joolzguides.com. But without further ado, let's carry on in this direction. Just on Whitaker Avenue here, just off the river, this is the old town hall. It was a town hall from 1888 until about 1965 when they joined a lot of different boroughs. These days it's where they have the museum. The museum has some really interesting, nice local history in it. They've got some lovely models of what the palace and the Manor of Sheen and stuff look like, so it's worth a look, for sure. And just outside there is the famous location where Mr. Bean first falls to earth.
Cruising down the river on a Sunday afternoon, with one you love, the sun above, waiting for the moon.
Tremendous. Look at this bridge here, Richmond Bridge. This is now the oldest bridge that spans the Thames. It was built in 1777. It wasn't the first, obviously, but it's the oldest current one standing. You can hire boats over here, and it brings back to memory the famous time that I raced my friend Ralph from this bridge all the way down to that bridge down there and back again.
Who won?
He did. I was hopeless. You can see while the royal palaces were down in southwest London here. So beautiful. I mean, there was Hampton Court Palace, Richmond Palace. You can take the boat to Hampton Court from here. There was one in Greenwich as well. Beautiful. Ah, brings back memories. I mean, across there is where the Richmond ice rink used to be. My sister used to go there. It must have been around 1981 or something. I mean, it was such a long time ago. And she'd get all the little badges to show that she was a certain level. And then I'd just wander off down the river with my dad and play sort of on the putting green and then go back and fetch her. Oh, look at that. I can't believe they've built those houses. Now, I suppose all the people who live in those houses probably think this is slightly more useful than the ice rink that was there. But, oh, those are innocent times, innocent days, Simon. Look at these buildings here. It's remarkable how abandoned things look. Look at these amazing old buildings. I mean, I don't know if it's true, but on the top of the door here it says 1690.
So some kind of a factory, isn't it?
Well, I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean,
you've got like a doorway there for, I guess, goods and produce to be taken out.
those windows have been bricked in. I don't know if that's a result of window tax or just they just decided to brick them in.
I think it was a factory.
Yeah,
That's what I reckon.
It's right opposite the poppy factory.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
where
yeah.
the poppies are made. Well, on Remembrance Sunday, when everyone goes out in November and buys and wears a poppy, this is where they're made, and they're staffed mostly by ex-servicemen and women. Remarkable. And you can go for a tour of there as well.
Oh, really?
But not today, because we're heading up there, up onto Richmond Hill.
The winds around all make a sound like softly falling rain.
Those bells you could hear ringing sounded very continental, didn't they? That was actually the church of the Roman Catholic Church, it's Portuguese, built in 1826, St. Elizabeth. It's right opposite these almshouses. I know you're sick of me talking about almshouses, but there are so many of them in Richmond. These 6 additional almshouses were erected in 1858, but the actual ones are a bit older.
I need my glasses on, really.
Oh, that just says Joolz Guides.
Oh, Joolz. Oh,
Joolz.
Is that your name?
Yeah, well,
Joolz?
I'm Julian, really, but you know, these days, I was trying to sound wacky, you know.
Oh, it's a little wacky around here.
What's your name?
Margaret.
Margaret, I'm Julian. Pleased to meet you.
thank
So
you.
you're the only person I've ever met who lives in one of these almshouses. What's it like in these places? How do you qualify?
Well, qualify because we're elderly and poor. I don't know how poor, but we...
Not in spirit, though.
No, not in spirit, definitely not. No.
Do you have to pay to be in them, or do you get for free?
Oh, no, we do pay. There's a certain rate.
Yeah.
And obviously, if someone was coming in, they would have to go through means testing and so on.
Right. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
For the poor and elderly.
So you were a nurse?
I was nursing, yes.
Yeah.
But I was a missionary nurse in the end, and I didn't have a lot of money. I didn't collect a lot of money, so yeah. There are managers, they're not carers, but they look after us. It's independent living. They don't interfere with what we're doing, but they're there for call if we need them. The garden has gardeners. It's a
And what is
communal
it, just a
garden.
one bedroom
And then
flat?
It's just a 1 bedroom.
Right.
One up, one down.
Well, it's lovely to meet you. Thanks for
Good to
helping.
meet you too, Julian.
See you then.
We'll plan a honeymoon, cruising down the river on a Sunday afternoon.
That's a rather odd-looking building, this, Castellic style. It used to be the home of some people called the Hublon Sisters. They were in charge of some medicinal wells here, but they closed them down because they started to annoy people. So many people coming to visit these medicinal wells. And then this ended up getting turned into this old vicarage school. This is from 1809. It looks like it was done in 2000 or something. I'll tell you what, I'll see you at the top of this hill in a minute. It's a fantastic view. We've just come up the hill here by the street, but if you like, there's a much more beautiful way to come from the river is to come up through the terraces here. And you arrive at what is the only view in Britain which is actually protected by an Act of Parliament. It's so beautiful here. Turner has painted it, Joshua Reynolds has painted it. It's really reminiscent almost of Huckleberry Finn in our youth. Do you remember that show, Simon? Need to see a paddle steamer going down there, like as if it's the Mississippi. And it's right opposite someone else who obviously rather liked the view, which is because that house there is, it's called Down House. That's the one where Mick Jagger bought in the 90s. He was living there with Jerry Hall. Anyway, there are some amazing places. There's actually a bit further along here is possibly my favourite house in the whole of London. I would say that if I had the choice of living anywhere in London, I would say I would like to live here. It's called The Wick, built in 1775. So that's where John Mills used to live. You know the actor, he's in all those old
did he
films.
really? Okay.
Yeah, he sold that to
Yeah.
Ronnie Wood from the Stones.
Oh, okay.
Rolling Stones in 1971. Do you remember when we went to see John Paris, who makes the snooker cues, and he was talking about how he was hanging around with the Rolling Stones and stuff? I'm sure he's been in there and played snooker. I seem to remember him telling a story about how they were all around there playing snooker, and that lovely conservatory they've got over there, the glass bit, that is where I Know It's Only Rock and Roll, but I Like It was written. David Bowie was in there, Mick Jagger, Keith Richards, Ronnie Wood. I don't know if Rod Stewart was there as well, but anyway, they were just jamming and they came out with that I know it's only rock and roll, but I like it. Probably loads of other songs, but anyway, what a glorious view they must have from that conservatory over the river there. Anyway, he sold it to Pete Townsend, who in turn sold it for 15 million quid in around 2021. But it looks kind of abandoned now. There's a lot of empty houses. It was also the way that the wind whistled around the rooms and the windows and everything. The wife of John Mills, she was called Mary Haley Bell, that inspired her to write Whistle Down the Wind.
It's Alan Bates and Hayley Mills, the daughter. She's in the film as well, I think.
Oh, is she? Now look, it's right next door to the Wick House. Another abandoned, look, empty.
Oh, I prefer this house.
Do
This house
you?
has got more attitude.
Well, that'd be cool.
Look
We
at
could
it.
be like the Rolling
It's like
Stones.
a fortress.
We could be like the Stones, Simon. I'll live in that one. You can
Yeah.
live next door. Well, look, it's all pretty in need of some tender loving care, this. A residence between 1772 and 1792 of Sir Joshua Reynolds.
Wow.
So there you go. No wonder he painted that lovely view over there. This was created as a deer park in the 1600s by King Charles I. He's the one who had his head chopped off. I don't know why I always say that every time I mention him. It's just so you can place him. Hello. Nice. It's like there's over 600 deer in this park. There's that famous YouTube clip that went viral. Do you remember it? Fenton! Fenton! Jesus Christ. And then you don't see the dog for a while, do you? You see there's loads of deer running and here's bloke shouting, Fenton! And then he comes into view and there are all these deer. A massive stampede. Not like that little fella there. Look, he's not causing any trouble
it's
at
not
all.
causing a fuss, old Bambi.
They cull them. It's really sad, isn't it? Twice a year, I think. Well, a lot of them die anyway, by eating rubbish and getting hit by cars or attacked by dogs and stuff like that. So this is called the Poet's Corner Pollinator Garden. It's really beautiful here. And this bench here is dedicated to Ian Dury, as in And the Blockheads. Do you mind if I sit next to you?
I literally just started listening to it. He was interviewed on Desert Island Discs.
Oh, right. So is that what that QR code is?
Yeah,
Do
I
you?
think the other side of the bench you can hear
Oh, right, yeah.
his best love songs,
Yeah.
and this side is a podcast.
So it says here, reasons to be cheerful. 1, 2, 3. Hit me with your rhythm stick. I'm from Essex, in case you couldn't tell. My given name is Dickie. I come from Billericay, and I'm doing very well. Do, 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 do. Had a love affair with Mina in the back of my Cortina. A seasoned up hyena could not have been more obscene. We're on King Henry's Mound here. From here you can see over towards Runnymede, which is where the Magna Carta was signed. You should be able to just about make out Windsor Castle on the horizon, but it's kind of struggling to pick it out. But through here, there's a protected view of St Paul's. I don't know if you're going to be able to get through there.
I see.
If
yes.
you put that down there, maybe you'll be able to get a shot of it. There's no evidence, it cannot be proven that it was from here that King Henry VIII waited for the signal from St Paul's Cathedral that Anne Boleyn had been executed and he was then free to marry Jane Seymour. But it was actually in this park that they filmed Anne of a Thousand Days with Richard Burton, not the explorer, the actor this time, but Richard Burton, chasing her around through the park.
Above all sing of love, a gentle sweet
Wonderful. Pembrook Lodge, what a lovely building this is. Built in 1754 for a mole catcher. I mean, it was quite a grand place for somebody who just had to find molehills and catch moles. But later on, the Prime Minister, John Russell, moved in, and he used to entertain people like Dickens, Garibaldi, you know, the Italian, Thackeray, Tennyson, those are writers. And his grandson was Bertrand Russell, the famous, was he a political philosopher, right? Did he write History of Western Philosophy, I think? He said, I grew accustomed to the wide horizons and an unimpeded view of the sunset. I bet he did, the lucky fellow. What a lovely place to live.
The winds around all make a sound like softly falling rain. Just two of us together will plan a...
Cheers, Simon.
Cheers.
Cheers, everybody. I think we can both agree that was a thoroughly excellent day out in Richmond. I'm totally looking forward to this currywurst here at Stein's. That looks good. Anyway, don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you like the videos, and also you can head over to my channel, joolzguides.com, my website, where you can leave donations, you can see lots more videos and buy t-shirts and all sorts of things. But above all, be jolly good for yourselves. I'll see you next time.
Down the river on a Sunday.